Twilight Gets a Puppy. By TDR. Chapter 93. Pack of 1. 2 weeks later. They hated her. They had to. She failed and they hated her for it. She hadn't seen it coming and they knew it. They had to hate her. They were avoiding her, no one had come by at all in 2 weeks. She had to know. She had to know for sure. Asterisk. Ponyville. So Princess Celestia appointed me ambassador to the Wolf Fangs. Granted, Lady Jinx is currently considering changing the pack name to the Jade Hounds to try and seem less threatening. On top of everything else I have going on, it nets me a rather nice bit of extra funding from Canterlot for doing what I was doing anyway. Rarity explained. Hey, so she finally figured out how to pay you then? Twilight nodded. What? Rainbow Dash asked, looking over at Twilight. The three of them had gone out to lunch. Ross had been invited as well, but he turned it down. It had been a busy day so far and the small break was nice. Fluttershy has the Crown Wildlife Rehabilitation title, Sweet Apple Acres is a heritage site, the sizable hazard bonuses the weather team had added to their pay, my library funding on top of my student grants and assistant stipends. Twilight listed. Now Rarity is an ambassador to a pack of diamond dogs she's already been dealing with. It's Princess Celestia's way to put us on the payroll for being element bearers without letting the nobles know. That does make sense, and it would explain that first bonus had some sort of back pay bonus. Rarity pondered. Wait, so what did Pinkie Pie get? Rainbow Dash asked. Premier Pink Party Planner of Ponyville. Twilight sighed. What? Rarity questioned. Wow, how did the princess get that one past the hoity-toities? Rainbow Dash asked. She's paying it out of her cake fund. Twilight sighed. She has a cake fund. Dash blinked. Ooh, scandalous. Rarity rolled her eyes. But enough about that. It's not what we all want to discuss right now. There are things to finish planning. Right. But first I wanna know something else. How is he? No one's seen him much in 2 weeks. Dash questioned. Applejack has. Twilight sighed. That's because Applejack invited you three to stay at her home while Golden Oaks was being repaired. I would be astounded if he had managed to avoid her in her own orchards. Rarity explained. He's sleeping a lot. And eating a lot, but he's still not talking much. Twilight sighed. I know he's healing, but it's weird he isn't even making quips like he used to. Given what was done to him, that is of little surprise. He is going to be somewhat off for a bit, I expect. Rarity sighed. Yes, well, given no pony will tell me what happened. Twilight glared at Rarity, who simply shook her head. Darling, all 3 princesses told me not to say anything and let him work it out. While I would love to tell you, as I think you knowing might help, I was forced to pinky promise I would not. Rarity sighed. Yep, we're not getting anything out of her. You don't break those. Rainbow Dash nodded. I don't even know what a pinky promise is aside from something Pinkie was blabbing about back when Fluttershy became a model. I was a bit too busy trying to get you two to talk to each other to pay much attention. Twilight shrugged. Yeah, well, let me put it to you this way. If anyone in town gives you one of those, whatever they promised, they will do. Rainbow Dash shuddered. Or else. What even is that mare? Twilight questioned. Hard to say. Though, has anyone seen her lately? Rarity asked curiously. Flutters and I saw her this morning. We were getting some of the decorations prepared and she popped up out of nowhere. Dash sighed. She didn't really seem right and kept asking a bunch of questions that didn't make much sense. We told her we had to house sit for Harry and she seemed to have bought it. Harry? Twilight asked. Fluttershy's bear. Rarity explained. And that worked? Twilight demanded. Well enough that she left so we could get everything out to the farm. Dash shrugged. I also think she was stalking me earlier when I went into Sugar Cube Corner. Twilight pondered. Rarity and Dash stared at Twilight. Please tell me you didn't get the cake for her from the place she works. Rarity sighed. Well, it's not like I have a lot of choices around here. Twilight sighed. Mrs. Cake already agreed to make it, and it's not like I could have gotten to Canterlot and back before this afternoon. Did the cake get there? Rainbow Dash asked. Of course it did, Fluttershy was perfect. Rarity nodded. That reminds me. Wasn't Gummy's birthday the day before hers? Rainbow Dash stated. I could have sworn she threw a party for him last year for the entire town right before her birthday. I believe you are correct. Though she hasn't this year. Also, with the new guards in the area, I would think she would have thrown at least one of her welcome parties. Rarity frowned. You don't think something's wrong, do you? Twilight muttered. We are being a little secretive around her for the past few days. Do you think she thinks we're avoiding her? Oh dear. Rarity muttered. Well, that answers that question. Spike gets out of school soon. I'll send him to check on her. Twilight considered. We still have things to do. Is that wise? No offense to Spike there, but we don't want Pinkie Pie to know what's going on. Rainbow Dash frowned, her ears flattening to her head. It's fine, I'll tell him it's a secret mission. Though if we just asked, he'd probably go just to see what was wrong with Pinkie Pie anyway. Twilight shrugged. Asterisk. Later. Wow, what a spread. Spike stated, drooling over the massive pile of gems Pinkie had put before him. While impressed with the grub, he also took note of how off Pinkie Pie seemed today. Certain odd mannerisms set off alarm bells. Twilight was right to send him. What's the occasion? No occasion, and they're all yours. Pinkie Pie grinned. Suddenly Spike was pulled back in the chair as Gummy clamped down on his tail and Pinkie Pie turned on a light in his face. All you have to do is talk. Pinkie snapped. Oh, it's one of those parties. Spike rolled his eyes. What? Pinkie Pie blinked. It's like how my saying waterboarding in Guantanamo Bay sounds fun if you don't know what either of those things are. Spike sighed. That does sound fun, but I don't get it. Is that a oubliettes and ogres reference? Pinkie Pie pondered. Actually it is. Spike smiled. Guantanamo Bay is ruled by an insane dictator, and waterboarding is when the elementalists make planks out of water and smack you around. Those things are a +3 normally in a 8 versus fire creatures. Oh well. Wait, what does that have to do with talking? Pinkie Pie blinked. It doesn't, it has more to do with expecting one thing and getting another. I expected some tasty gems and instead I'm getting a pop quiz. Spike grumbled. And Miss Cheerly already gave us one of those this morning. That's not exactly what I was going for, but... Hey, wait a minute. You're trying to distract me from what's really going on, aren't you? Pinkie Pie accused. Yep. Spike admitted. Seriously though, how is that little alligator so strong? I should be able to drag him and the chair and half the table over enough to get to those gems. He works out. Pinkie Pie stated. Wait, no. I ask the questions around here. Well then ask one. Spike shrugged. What are you hiding? Pinkie queried. Ross and Twilight's hearth's warming presents. Spike offered. No. I mean, what are you really hiding? Pinkie demanded. A fleur de lis swimsuit calendar. Spike admitted. That's not what I mean. Pinkie growled, slapping her face with a hoof. Well, you're going to have to be more specific. I'm also hiding Shining's favorite D20, cause he still has my Sir Spike miniature, and the 7th and 11th volume of Encyclopedia Equestria. Spike listed. Not what I wanted to know, but why are you hiding only 2 volumes? Pinkie Pie blinked. Because it drives Twilight crazy to see a bunch of large books with some missing, and she forgot to pack a gem or 2 in my lunch Monday. Spike explained. Well, that's mean, Pinkie Pie admitted. But no. I want you to confess. Confess? Pfft, not likely. I told Twilight she ate that donut while in a studying zone out, I didn't touch it. No. Pinkie shouted, clearly frustrated. I will learn what you know. Do you expect me to talk? Spike smirked roguishly. No, Mr. Spike, I expect you to Wait, yes, I do expect you to talk. Pinkie ranted, stopping suddenly and narrowing her eyes at the little dragon. Wait a minute, you've been playing me. You're too good at this. You're a spy. Yup, my tux is in the cleaners though. Erg, just tell me what's going on. Or else you'll never get the gems. I have a question for you first. Spike smiled. Pinkie Pie blinked. Did you really think I'd come alone? Spike asked, putting on a pair of sunglasses. Pinkie asked again. Cutie mark Crusaders Ninja Cavalry yay. What? Pinkie gasped as the trio of fillies rushed into the room wearing black pajamas. The three of them dog-piling on Pinkie Pie as Spike sat back in the chair, steepling his claws and letting the light reflect off the lenses of his glasses. No, Pinkie Pie yelped, slipping out from under the Crusaders, who all adopted kung fu poses that looked like Apple Bloom's dance moves, save Sweetie Belle, who tried and fell over onto her rump. I'm not finished yet. Is it just me, or did her hair get all straight? Apple Bloom asked. Madam Le Flower attack. Pinkie Pie shouted. Do what now? Scootaloo asked before being hit with a large bag of flour and bowled over, crashing back into a pile of Pinkie's things. Protect me, Sir Lint Salad. Pinkie ordered. What? Sweetie Belle demanded before she gained a face full of lint. Get it off, get it off. Seriously? Spike questioned. Get them, Mr. Turnip. Pinkie Pie commanded. Apple Bloom didn't even manage to get a confused what out before she was pelted by turnips and had a bucket dropped over her head. Spike regarded this for a while, watching Pinkie cackling like a villain before he narrowed his eyes, taking off his sunglasses and hopping off the chair. The little dragon stormed over to the pink mare, dodging the flailing Apple Bloom and the panicked Sweetie Belle and dragging along a toothless alligator that was still clinging to his tail. You dare come after me? Rocky, stop this interloper! Pinkie Pie menaced. Spike tilted his head, looking at the precariously piled stack of rocks between Pinkie Pie and himself, and promptly kicked them over. Rocky, no! Pinkie Pie wailed. I will avenge you. I swear there will be cupcakes. Nope, stop, that's it, we're done. Spike ordered. I've been around Ross enough to know when someone's ham acting, and around Twilight to know when I'm seeing signs of a breakdown. Freaky hair aside, you are definitely going into the latter. What is wrong? Spike stood there staring up at Pinkie Pie. Nothing's wrong, really. Pinkie Pie began. Spike stared harder and Apple Bloom managed to join him after getting the bucket from her head. Seriously, I'm fine. Pinkie Pie muttered, not meeting their gaze as Sweetie Belle joined them in staring at Pinkie. Maybe I'm going a little overboard. Pinkie Pie admitted. Scootaloo didn't join them, as she was still off on the far side of the room punching the bag of flour. Take that, and that. Jump me, will you? Scootaloo snapped. Scootaloo. Apple Bloom sighed. What? The small Pegasus demanded, her black pajamas covered in flour. She started it. Scootaloo scoffed, striking the bag one last time before trotting over to the others. One more time, Pinkie. Tell me what's wrong, or I call Princess Celestia out here. She was usually pretty good in calming down Twilight. Spike explained. Pinkie stared at the foals a moment more and their stern glares. With the exception of Scootaloo, all of them had older sisters who lost it from time to time. It was their job to keep them in line. While none of them were related to Pinkie Pie, she was still a friend. Scootaloo darted back to the table and turned the light on Pinkie Pie. Spill it. Pinkie Pie blinked, her eyes watering up before she started bawling. Evrionotesmbe Kazami Pinky Sensetid Twarntham Thatraswas Ganajet Drugoff Badiam Ondog Sandi Viri one I savoiding me and hiding Samething That They Wuntal Mendi Vinoi Dahatadakaziadon Tavan no what sort of twitch thought would been Draswashur Trial Bat if feel like I staraba and Identino Wadado Kaziva. Pinkie Pie bawled. The Crusaders blinked staring at the crying mare then looking at each other. Did any of ya get that? Apple Bloom finally asked. She thinks everyone hates her because her pinky sense didn't warn her that Ross was gonna get full napped. Spike translated. Also something about a volcano. Whoa, you understood that? Sweetie Belle asked. Enough of it. Twilight's had me write things down when she's in the zone, and if she's super excited she talks super fast. Not as fast as that, mind you, but enough. Spike explained. While that's awesome that you caught that, Spike. Why's she think that? Apple Bloom praised. Cause I've barely seen anyone in 2 weeks. Pinkie Pie balls. Cause every pony's been busy. Day. Scudalo shrugged. Rainbow Dash and the Weather Patrol have had to coordinate with the guards here in regards to the weather and the lay of the land. We've had to tap into some of our stores for all that extra ponies and we're making a lot of runs to Ponyville. Apple Bloom offered. My sister's backlogged with all her work lately. Sweetie Belle chimed in. And Fluttershy's trying to keep all the animals calm with the guards stomping around. Twilight's got to take care of the library's restoration, plus keep tabs on Ross. Spike added, tapping his chin with a claw. And Ross, well, he's not really been talking to anyone. Besides, there's another reason I'm pretty sure no one is mad at you. It's why we're here. What? Why are you here? Pinkie Pie asked. To keep you distracted until Rainbow Dash shows up. Scudalo yelled. The door was shoved open at that point and the aforementioned mare poked her nose in the door. Whoa, what happened in here? Dash questioned. Is it ready? Apple Bloom asked. Yep, let's go. Rainbow Dash smirked. You two Pinks. You do something with your hair. Asterisk. Later. The party continued in full swing with Pinkie Pie back to normal, dancing around with the others. Ross had even come by for a little while, though he hadn't eaten much and had sat himself down in the corner to watch rather than participate any. So this whole time, Apple Bloom frowned as she and Sweetie Belle sat with Spike, who was happily devouring cake. Scudalo was following Dash around like a lost puppy. She thought every pony was mad at her. And through all that she forgets it's her own birthday and she thinks the surprise party is her friends trying to have a party without her. That's what I gathered from this mess. Spike nodded. Adults are weird. Sweetie Belle theorized. And we didn't even get Ninja Warrior cutie marks. Welcome to my world. Spike agreed. Now can you guys help me get Gummy off my tail? He's starting to get annoying. Author's note. This was initially going to be the last epilogue of Pony and Dog Show, but then I realized how well it fit with Pack of One, so. Well, here we are. Second chapter of this will be posted sat. End author's note. End chapter 93. Pack of One.